Hello everyone, welcome to Helm of Science. So I hope that all of you are safe. So today the topic that we will discuss is the topic of class 12 calculus, that is the continuity. Okay, so from the word continuity, if you understand by its simple language, that continuity means what? Continuity means something which can flow without any break or without any gap. Okay, so in case of function, all of us know that the functions can be represented in the Cartesian plane. Okay, so if we plot a graph such a way that there is no gap in its path or there is no break in its path, that is, the functions when drawn without any break or without any gap, then the functions, we say that the functions are continuous. Okay, so to understand it in a better way, let us take an example. Okay, let's take a function. Suppose f is mapping from R to R and fx is defined as fx equals to x square minus 9 by x minus 3 when x is not equal to 3 and 6 when x is equal to 3. Okay, now you can see that here fx equals to x square minus 9 by x minus 3 when x is not equals to 3 and 6 when x equals to 3. So if you look at the first one, that is x square minus 9 by x minus 3, here actually the domain has been partitioned into two subintervals. Okay, so the domain for the first, I can say d1, the domain for the first function, that means x square minus 9 by x minus 3, when x is not equal to 3, the domain is r minus of 3. That means here it is given that x is not equal to 3. That's okay. So the domain is r minus of 3. Okay. So for the next one, when it is 6, when x equals to 3, so in this domain, there is in one point, only one point, that is 3. So the second is a singleton set. Okay. Now, if you look at this one properly, that is fx equals to x square minus 9 by x minus 3, when x is not equals to 3, here, this is actually a straight line when x is not equals to 3. Why? Because when x is not equal to 3, that means fx is what? Fx equals to x square minus 9 by x minus 3. Now x square minus 9 means actually x square minus 3 square by we have x minus 3. So all of us know the formula of a square minus b square. It is a plus b into a minus b. Okay. So here, since x is not equal to 3, so we can cancel out this factor, x minus 3. Okay. So we are only left with x plus 3. That means when x is not equal to 3, then fx is x plus 3. Okay. So if we plot this graph, that means if we plot this one, then how does it look like? Just see. Okay. Since x is not equal to 3, so corresponding for x equals to 3, I have taken a gap. Okay, so this is x equals to 3. So this is actually the graph of this x square minus 9 by x minus 3 when x is not equal to 3. Okay, now what will we do? We will just try to analyze this function on the NBD of this x equals to 3. That means what is the behavior of this function fx equals to x plus 3 at the NBD, or you can say just in and around of the point x equals to 3. Okay, so for that we have to approach to x equals to 3 from both ends, that means from right hand side and from left hand side. Okay, so let's move on from the left hand side first. So suppose when we are moving to x equal to 3 from the left hand side, that means we are considering those values of x which are 3 minus h to 3. Now here h is actually what? H is infinitesimally small positive quantity. Okay. So when we are moving to x equal to 3, that means when x is tending towards 3 minus, okay, you can write here that when x is tending towards 3 minus. So from the concept of limit in class 11, we already know that when x tends to 3 minus, it means that it is x is belonging to 3 minus h to 3. It is open interval 3 minus h to 3 when where h is infinitesimally small positive quantity. Okay. So for the sake of simplicity, let us take the value of h. Suppose I am taking h equal to 0.001. Okay. So for this, what will be the corresponding value of x plus 3? That means if we here actually, if we give y equal to fx equals to x plus 3. So when x is tending towards 3 minus, that means x is belonging towards 3 minus h to 3, where h is infinitesimally small positive quantity. Now for the sake of simplicity, I have taken a value of h that is 0.001. So corresponding of the value of x will be what? The corresponding value of x will be 3 minus 0.001. So that is actually what? That is actually 2.999. Okay. So this is the value. Okay. Now another value I am taking, it is more closer to 3 from the left hand side. That is, I am taking h as 0.0001. Okay. So corresponding the value of x is what? Corresponding value of x is 3 minus 0.0001. Okay. So it is actually what? 2.9999. Okay. So for this, the first one, when h is 0.001 and x is 2.999, so what is the value of y? That means when y is equal to fx equals to x plus 3, so y is actually 5.999. Okay. Now corresponding of h equals to 0.0001, x is 2.9999. Okay. So corresponding value of y will be 5.9999. Okay. So from this observation, you can very well see that when the values of x, when the sequence of values of x is approaching towards 3 minus, okay, that means it is approaching towards x equals to 3 from the left hand side. Okay. So when the sequence of values of x is approaching towards 3 from the left hand side, sequence of values of y is approaching towards what? Is approaching towards 6. Okay, you can say that it is approaching towards 6, because it is, if you look at this carefully, when h is 0.0001, it is more closer to 3. When it is actually, when x is 2.9999, it is more closer to 3 than 2.999. Okay. So here, when y is 5.999 and y is 5.9999, so this is more closer to 6 compared to this one. So you can say that as the sequence of values of x is tending towards 3 minus sequence of values of y, you can say that sequence of values of y is tending towards 6 minus. Okay. Now, from the concept of limit, we know that it is actually what? It is limit extends to 3 minus x plus 3. Okay. This is actually what? This is actually limit extends to 3 minus of fx. Okay. This is actually what? This will be 6. Okay. Limiting value is a defined function. So when it is a defined function, numerical value of the limiting value and the functional value is same. Okay. So when x is tending towards 3 minus, so the limiting value of the function f(x) equals to x plus 3 is 6. Okay. So this is what we have analyzed from the left hand side of x equals to 3. Okay. So you can say this is actually what? This is actually LHL. Okay. LHL of x equal to 3. Okay. Now we move from RHL towards x equals to 3. That means we are approaching towards x equals to 3 from the right hand side. Okay. Okay. So at first we have moved from this end. That means we have moved x equals to 3 from the left hand side. Now we are moving x equals to 3 from right hand side. Okay. So for right hand side, we will take those values of x which is 3 to 3 plus h. Here h is same, infinitesimally small positive quantity. Okay. Okay. So when we are approaching towards x equals to 3 from the right hand side, that means you can write x is tending towards 3 plus. Okay. So we are considering those values of x which are belonging to 3 to 3 plus h, open interval 3 to 3 plus h, where h is infinitesimally small positive quantity. Okay. So just in the case of previous one, we will take value of h same as 0.001. Okay. Now for RHL, the corresponding value of x will be what? It will be 3.001 because it is RHL. Okay. So it is, we are considering those values which are 3 to 3 plus h. Okay. So corresponding value of y will be what? It will be 6.001. Okay. Another value of h we will take, it is 0.0001. Okay. So for this x will be what? 3.0001. So corresponding value of y will be what? It will be 6.0001. 0.00. It is y will be 6.0001. Okay. So from this observation also, from the RHL, when we are moving to x equals to 3 from the right hand side, so when the sequence of values of x is tending towards 3 plus, that means 3.001, that means 3.0001. Okay. So we are observing that when the sequence of values of x is approaching towards 3 plus, sequence of values of y is approaching towards 6 plus. Okay. So you can write that when x is tending towards 3 plus, y is tending towards 6 plus. Okay. You can see from this. That means when h is 0.001, x is 3.001. Correspondingly, value of y is 6.001. When h is 0.0001, x is 3.0001. Corresponding value of y is 6.0001. So 6.0001 is more closer to 6 than 6.001. Okay. So we can say that as the sequence of values of x is approaching towards 3 plus, sequence of values of y is approaching towards 6 plus. Okay. So here we will also write that from the concept of limit, when limit x tends to 3 plus of fx equals to what? Limit x tends to 3 plus, it is x plus 3. So it is also 6. Okay. So this is actually RHL as we have moved from the right hand side of x equals to 3. Okay. Now you can see that in both cases of LHL and RHL, we have got the limiting value as 6. Okay. And if you see carefully, at first the function, you can see that at x equals to 3, the functional value is also 6. Okay. According to the given function, At x equals to 3, the fx will be what? Fx will be 6. Okay, according to a given function. So from this we can understand that now you can see from the graph itself, that means when we are approaching towards 3 from the LHL, the limiting value is tending towards 6. And when we are moving from RHL towards x equals to 3, also the limiting value is tending towards 6. And at x equals to 3 itself, the functional value is also 6. Okay. So now, if I draw this line at x equals to 3, it will be 6. Okay. So this is 6. So when I am plotting this graph, I have not I not when I am plotting this graph, okay, when x equals to 3, the functional value of fx is 6. RHL is also 6 and LHL is also 6. Okay. So because the functional value is 6 at x equals to 3, so I can plot this graph without lifting my pen. Okay. I can continue with this line. I cannot lift my pen because at x equals to 3, the functional value is 6. Also in LHL and RHL, the limiting value is also 6. So here limiting value is equal to functional value. So when x equals to 3, the functional value is 6. So when I am plotting this graph, okay, I cannot lift my pen. I have to continue with this line. In that case, we will say that the function is continuous. That means getting it is getting drawn without any break or without any gap. Okay, I think it is clear. So you can see that there I do not have to lift my pen when I am plotting this graph. Okay, so you can say here from this that fx is continuous at x equals to 3. Okay, but there is a problem here. Suppose in place of 6, if the function would have 16 when x equals to 3, then I cannot continue with this line. Okay, then I have to lift my pen to some point 3 comma 16. Okay, so in that case, when I am plotting this graph, I am lifting my pen to some point 3 comma 16. Okay, so for that my pen is getting lifted, and when it is getting lifted, that means the function is getting broken. So in that case, we will say that the function is discontinuous at the point x equals to 3. Okay, so I think it is clear. Okay, so here it is not happening because here the functional value and limiting value is same there. So we will say that the function is continuous at x equals to 3. Okay, so from this whole discussion, we can formulate a definition of continuity of a function at a point. Okay, so let us write this. Continuity of a function at a point. Okay, so it tells that a function fx is continuous at x equals to a if LHL equal to RHL equal to f of a finite quantity. Okay, so a function fx is continuous at x equals to some point a if LHL of x equals to a equal to RHL of x equals to a equals to f of a, which is a finite quantity. Okay, it should be a finite quantity. Okay, now this can be formulated in another way also. Suppose limit x tends to a minus of fx equals to limit x tends to a plus fx equals to f of a finite quantity. Okay, so this can be written another way. Another way we can write this by substituting h. Okay, so it is limit h tends to 0, f of a minus h equal to limit h tends to 0, f of a plus h equal to f of a finite quantity. Okay, so what we have told, that continuity of a function at a particular point, it is continuity of a function at a point. What is it saying? A function fx is continuous at x equals to a if left hand limit is equal to right hand limit, that means LHL equal to RHL of that point, obviously, equals to f of a finite quantity. This we can write in another two ways, that is limit extends to a minus of fx equals to limit extends to a plus fx equals to f of a, which is a finite quantity. Okay, another way we can write that limit extends to limit h tends to 0, f of a minus h equals to limit h tends to 0, f of a plus h equals to f of a finite quantity. Okay, so this is the concept of continuity of a function at a point. That means when a function is continuous, that means its left hand limit, that means when we are finding at a point but continuity of a function at a particular point, so left hand limit of that particular point will be equal to right hand limit of that particular point equal to functional value of that particular point, which will be a finite quantity. Then we will say that the function is continuous. Okay, if LHL is not equal to RHL, okay, so then we will say that the function is discontinuous at the point x equals to a or any other point we will take. Okay, so I think it is clear about the concept of continuity. Okay, we will do some more problems. We will do some more problems in the next class. So today I will do one problem. Okay, so to clear the concept. Okay, so let's start with the first problem. Okay, so it is given fx is defined as, it is a sum from SND, that means the West Bengal Board, West Bengal Council of Higher Secondary Education book, okay, that we use to solve mathematics books. Okay, so it is a sum from SND. So what it is saying, fx equals to 3ax plus b when x is less than 1, 11 when x is equal to 1, okay, and 5ax minus 2b when x is greater than 1. It is saying that fx is continuous. It is told that the function is continuous at x equals to 1. Okay, x equals to 1. So we have to find the values of a and b. Values of a and b. Okay, we have to find a and b. It is given that fx equals to 3ax plus b when x is less than 1, 11 when x equals to 1, and 5ax minus 2b when x is greater than 1. It is continuous at x equals to 1. Then we have to find the values of a and b. I am doing one example for you so that you must be clear about the concept of continuity. Okay. In the next class, we will do some more important problems. Okay. So let's start. So it is said that the function is continuous. So from this, you can get a very clear clue that when fx is continuous at x equals to 1, that means what? That means LHL of x equals to 1 equals to RHL of x equals to 1, and f of 11, sorry, f of, I mean to say f of 1, sorry, this will be 1, x equals to 1. Okay, so f of 1 will be equal to LHL of x, LHL of x equals to 1 equal to RHL of x equals to 1. So here at first we write that f of 1 is equal to 11, which is a which is obviously a finite quantity. Okay, now we will find LHL of x equals to 1. Okay, so LHL means we are on those values of x which are 1 minus h to 1. Okay, so LHL means what? X is belonging to 1 minus h to 1, where h is infinitesimally small positive quantity. Okay, we already written this. Okay, so we can say that, so limit extends to 1 minus. So when it is less than 1, so which function we will take? It is 3ax plus b. Okay, so 3ax plus b, so it will be equal to 3a plus b from the concept of limit. Okay, next we will find RHL. It will be limit extends to 1 plus. Now when limit extends to 1 plus means what? It is under RHL of x equals to 1. That means those values of x which are 1 to 1 plus h, where h is infinitesimally small positive quantity. Okay, now see, if it RHL is equal to what? Limit extends to 1 plus. So when it is greater than 1, 1 plus means greater than 1. So what will function we will take? It is 5ax minus 2b. Okay, so it will give me 5a minus 2b from the concept of limit. Okay, now in the question, since it is told that fx is continuous at x equals to 1, that means what? That means LHL will be equal to RHL equal to f of 1. That means f of a, actually f of 1 here. So I can write that, you have to write the reason, since fx is continuous at x equals to 1, it implies LHL equal to RHL equal to f of 1. That means 11. Okay, so we can write 3a plus b equal to 5a minus 2b equal to 11. Okay, so once we will write 3a plus b equal to 11, we will give this equation 1, and another is 5a minus 2b equal to 11. This is 2. Now we all know simultaneous equation solving. Okay, so we will solve these two equations to get the values of a and b. Okay, so you can see here b and here is 2b. So what we will do, we just multiply the equation 1 with 2 and 2 with 1. Okay, yes, and we will multiply the equation 1 with 2 and the equation 2 with 1. Okay, so if we multiply this, it will be what? 6a plus 2b equal to 22. Okay, and if you multiply this as 1, it will remain same, that is 5a minus 2b equal to 11. Okay, now we can see 2b cancel, so it is 6a plus 5a, that means 11a is equal to 22 plus 11, that is 33. So from this we are getting the value of a, that is 3. Okay, now putting the value of a3 in the equation 1. Okay, putting a equal to 3 in equation 1, what we get? Okay, so it is actually 3 into 3 plus b equal to 11. From this, 9 plus b equal to 11. From this, it is what? b equal to 11 minus 9, which is 2. Okay, so we have got the values of a and b. So what is the values? What are the values? A equal to 3 and b equal to 2. Okay, so the required answer for this question is a equal to 3 and b equal to 2. Okay, so I think it is clear about the concept of continuity of a function at a particular point. We will do some more important problems from this chapter, so to understand the concept more clearly. Okay, so I think I have been able to clear your concept about this continuity concept. Okay, so in the next class we will do some more problems. So until then, please stay safe and take care. Okay. Thank you so much for watching.